I recommend everyone who is aiming for NEET PG or FMGE that they have to use pre-PG as their source. They are giving much of their content as free content, and that is a great thing, and that is a great gesture that we haven't seen in any of the apps in this field. The GT is simulated almost like of NEET PG exam. I just felt, because in many apps that we use that we have in the market, the questions are a bit of tougher level and a bit of tougher than the NEET PG exams. In any of the GTs which I wrote, if the marks almost came similar to NEET PG, I should say that it wasn't pre-PG. Everyone who is seeing this video and everyone who is using pre-PG should give the GTs weekly and should write the daily exams. When doing a pre-PG, the biggest advantage that I felt is that we can do too many number of questions in a single sitting. That is, I did not get that kind of freeness in any other app. Don't go beyond FOMO, don't go beyond hi-fi things. Stay basic and you will get into the game. I had self-doubt. I had doubt whether I'm doing well. Will I be able to finish the topics? Will I be able to get into a good rank which I need? Revision is the most important and is the key for success. In the previous day of the exam, if you are feeling that you don't know anything and you have forgotten everything, believe me, you will be in the list. You will be getting a good rank. Hi everyone, myself Dr. Thanveer. I secured All India rank of 220 in NEET PG 2023. I belong to 2016 batch of Government Medical College, Kozhikode, Kerala. So a bit about myself and my college life. First of all, I did not belong to the top 10 of my batch. I was not the topper of my batch, but I learned reasonably well in all my university examinations. And I started my preparation. If you ask me when did I start my NEET PG 2023 exam preparation, I can divide into two, the first phase and the main phase. So first phase was initially during the lockdown period that we had for COVID. At that time, I was just promoted into final year, and we had just 1 month of posting, and then the lockdown came. So as part of learning for final year, I did not had the NEET PG in my mind that time. I just learned all the final year subjects well in an entrance level of preparation itself, and that was mainly to clear my final year exams. And I followed the same notes and the same faculties during my this preparation also. I did not use any other faculty or any other platform during my main preparation. And my main preparation starts after my internship, and our internship was over on August 17th, and my convocation was on September 4th of last year, that is 2022. And after that, on September 10th, after 1 week of convocation, I started my main preparation for NEET PG, and that is the main phase where I started NEET PG preparations. So what is my relation with pre-PG and when did it start, if you ask me? And pre-PG, I installed pre-PG way back in my second year or third year, I think. And that was just before a quiz program for one pathology quiz or something. And my friend suggested the app, and I installed the app. But the main use or the regular use of the app was started only on this September 10th last year. So I used the app regularly. Pre-PG, I recommend everyone who is aiming for NEET PG or FMGE that they have to use pre-PG as their source, because first of all, the main thing that I have to say, that I have to emphasize, is that they are giving much of their content as free content, and that is a great thing, and that is a great gesture that we haven't seen in any of the apps in this field. We have seen many apps and many people in this field of entrance exam, but I haven't seen anyone who is giving this much of free content. That is 30% of their content is free and is freely accessible for everyone. That is a great thing, and that is a great thing anyone can do. So I was so happy about that, and I used mainly the free contents of pre-PG, and that itself is very much useful. And if you can have subscription, that is well and good. So I used to write daily exams, which consist of 50 questions every day. That might be one subject if it is a big subject, and two subjects combined if it is small subjects. So that was very useful in my preparation, because first of all, the daily exams are usually written by almost 4,000 students, and we get an idea where we stand among these 4,000 students, that whether we are doing good, how is our preparation going, whether it is in the right path or not. So in that way, it was very much useful. And I also used to write weekly GTs in pre-PG. And the main thing that is important about pre-PG, what I say, is that the GTs simulated almost like of NEET PG in exam. I just felt, because in many apps that we use out, that we have in the market, the questions are a bit of tougher level and a bit of tougher than the NEET PG exams. Usually in NEET PG entrance exam, the exams are not very much tight. They ask basic questions, they ask easy questions, and we make easy questions wrong. And that's why we usually see that the topper gets a score of 180 plus, and I secured 172 correct answers, and I secured a rank of 220. So if you ask me, in any of the GTs which I wrote, if the marks almost came similar to NEET PG, I should say that it was in pre-PG, because my top score in pre-PG GT was 167, and this, which is almost similar, near to the original score which I secured. So in that sense, NEET PG GTs were almost similar kind of NEET PG, because the number of easy questions, very tough questions, were correctly matched. So I would suggest that everyone who is seeing this video and everyone who is using pre-PG should give the GTs weekly and should write the daily exams. And the other content also, like the per subject, if you can take the workout and do the questions, which is also very much useful, because I don't know what is the thing behind it, but when doing a pre-PG, the biggest advantage that I felt is that we can do too many number of questions in a single sitting. That is, I did not get that kind of freeness in any other app. It is, I don't know what is the reason behind it, but in a simple sitting itself, like, you can do almost 100 questions by 35 minutes or 40 minutes. So that is possible in pre-PG, so that the number of questions that you attempt can be increased to too much of a high number with pre-PG. So that was an important feature and important thing that I felt in pre-PG. So, and many of the clinical questions were also there, which were also useful. And another important feature that I liked about pre-PG is that in the question itself, there will be discussion areas where many of the students will be writing their mnemonics and the different ways and approaches where they got the answer and everything. So which helps us to remember these facts very easily. And some students will also post their related knowledges about the topic, and confusing options and confusing answers and everything, so which were very much useful. And the latest new questions and new patterns and new questions explanations are also pretty good in pre-PG. So you have to take the exams seriously and write the exam seriously. And if you write exams seriously, it will be too much of a worth, I would always say. And I used to get a rank of between 20 to 100 in the daily tests, and also in the GATs of pre-PG. So if you ask me how to prepare, that I have secured a rank of 220, and I think I can somehow help you to reach into a good rank if possible. So if you ask me how to prepare or how to start my preparation from zero, I would say that the first thing that you have to do while you're starting your preparation is to give a GT. The first day of your preparation should be by giving a GT. Give a GT, and see, you will never get 0 out of 200 in a GT, because you will be having a basic knowledge of every subject. Something will be there. So you will be getting some score that might be 20, 30, 40, 50, or whatever be the score. if your basics are clear, if you have been learning in a entrance oriented manner before, you will be getting a score of 100 or something, and sometimes it will be less than that, sometimes it will be more than that. It doesn't matter, but you have to give a GT on the day one, and you have to know where you stand, and you have to know how much distance that you have to travel to reach your target. So that is the first thing that you have to do. Then the next thing and the most important thing is that whatever the platform you are following, you have to watch the videos. Watch the videos, watch the contents, and make your own notes. I suggest you that you have to have better that your own handwritten notes, and that are the best things. And if you have the printed notes, it's not a big issue, but you have to make sure that you read that notes and you go through that notes and you underline those areas which are important. Because when you have a printed note and you have a lecture hearing, there is a high chance that you just overhear the things and you just skip the areas. So don't do that. You have to make sure that you are actively reading those areas. And the first thing, you have to have a plan that when you have to finish these subjects, when you have to finish the watching of the videos. So I would suggest that you have to have minimum 3 months for revision. So if it is 4 months or 5 months, it's better, but you have to have minimum of 3 months. So make a plan so that you have a 3 months extra there, and a plan so plan watching videos in a faster manner, and watch the videos in a faster manner, and finish the subjects in a speculated time. So you can make your own timetable if needed, or if you are following some platforms with their own timetable, you can follow that also. That is completely up to you. So have a plan, make a plan such that you finish the subjects in stipulated time that you give for that subject. So you can watch. I used to watch almost 10 hours a day class, and just read it in half an hour. So one mistake I did was that I did not read the notes which I watched on the same day. That is the biggest mistake, because after watching all the subjects, and when I came back to these notes, I felt like all these notes are new, and that was very difficult, and I took too much of time to revise all these things. So I think I suggest you that even if you can't watch 10 hours a day, watch 8 hours a day, then use that 2 hours to read that note again. Because I'm not saying that you have to learn that. It might not be possible to learn that everything in that day, but it should be possible to read that. You have to just go through the topics and just make sure that you have an idea about what you learned on that day. So that is the thing that you have to do about learning is concerned. Because the main thing is that our score will be increased only if you read your notes, only if you know the basics. If you do your questions, if you do the practice your questions, your mark will increase. But you can increase your mark in a drastic manner by reading, so which is the most important thing. So you have to watch your videos and complete your notes and start reading. The second thing is doing questions. So you have to have this theory and previous year questions or questions doing in a balanced manner. Both should go hand in hand. So when practicing questions, I suggest you have to do previous year questions first. Do previous year questions and mark the areas of previous year questions in your note. Just mark with a red pen or anything, and just mark there. It's a previous year questions. Know that how these previous year questions are being framed, what are the type of questions being asked, what are the areas of questions being asked. Usually in all of the notes, whatever be the platform that you are following, every notes will be complete and every notes will be the best. So they will be covering all the previous year questions areas and areas beyond that, but you have to be sure which are the areas where the questions are asked. So mark those areas and learn those areas in a better manner. So then if you're done with the previous year questions, what to do? Then if you want to do more questions, I would suggest do more previous year questions which are before 5 years. And if you want to do more questions, then I would suggest do subject wise test, or a test of the complete subject. And still you think that you have to do more questions, then only go to the specific Q banks and specific subject or specific topic Q banks. Or else you can go to the specific topic Q banks if you feel that you are specifically weak in some areas. So this is the way I followed, and this is the way I think which is better, because if you are starting initially with the Q bank itself, there is a high chance that you cannot complete these Q banks, and you will finally miss out the most important things, which are the subject wise test and also the previous year questions areas. Because when subject wise questions or a subject wise test is being done, when there is 100 questions from a subject which is being prepared, the questionnaire will be containing the most important areas of that subject. So you will not miss the most important areas. And always in the exams, most important is most important, and most important areas are always frequently asked. And it is the basic things and most important things which are being asked, but we tend to forget that, and that is why we are getting a low rank. So don't go beyond FOMO, don't go beyond hi-fi things. Stay basic, and you will get into the game. And the next one, the most important thing, that is GT. How often that you have to do GT, you will be asking. So I would suggest, if your score is less than 120, I would suggest that you can do GTs once in 2 weeks. And if it is less than 130, that is 120 to 130, you do GTs once in 10 days. And if you are getting a score more than 140, you can do GTs once in a week. Why I'm saying this, because if your scores are less than 120, it does mean that you have some issues in your basics, and you have some issues with your theory knowledge. So you have to give more time for reading, and by reading itself you can improve your score. 130 is also the same, but when it is you are scoring more than 140, it means that your basics are clear, your notes are always okay, and there is some issues with your revision, there are some issues with your practicing of the questions, which can be improved by doing more and more questions, so that at that point of time, you can do weekly GTs. So what to do before every GT? What is your plan, or what should be your plan before every GT? I should say that before doing a GT, you have to have a specific plan. Suppose you are planning to do GTs once in 2 weeks. You have to have at least, I will be completing 1.5 subjects, or I will be completing 2 subjects in this 2 weeks period of time. And you have to look how well you are performing in that GT in those subjects in which you have prepared. So that is the way that you have to do. Before every GT, that you have to have a plan, and you have to have a goal, and you have to assess how well you did with your goal in that GT. So this is the way that you can go. And while doing GTs, how many questions that you have to attempt? I would say that always go aggressive, because I scored 172 correct. I attempted 199 questions. So why did I attempt 199 questions? Because if I'm not going aggressive, if I'm not going this much, attempting more than 190 plus, I don't think that I stand a chance to get a top or a good rank. So if you want to be in a good rank, you have to attempt. So there is a chance that you can have wrong, but you can rule out many questions, you can rule out many options, and you will be finally reaching into 2 options, and you can get it to a 50-50 chance. Then try for it and go for it. I should suggest that you have to go for it, unless and until you don't know anything about the question and you don't know anything about the options. If you don't know both of these, then you can skip. Otherwise, you have to go for the questions. What are the most important things in a grade or in a manner which are important for the preparation? I should say, first one, theory. Your theory, your notes, your videos, that is the most important thing, that you have to read it. If you read it, your scores will drastically improve. The second one is previous questions. The third one is subject-wise test. After that comes the Q bank and everything. So you have to know that one important thing, that everything that is being asked in the exams are from your notes. Whatever be the platform that you are following, whatever be that, everything is from your notes. Every platform or everyone who is giving you the coaching for the entrance knows what is being asked and what are the most important things, and they will be covering that areas in their note. So believe in that note and don't go beyond FOMO. Don't go beyond fear of missing out. Don't think that team they are learning more things than us. Don't think about these things, because whatever needed for you will be provided, and you have to learn that. You have to stick into that and learn the notes again and again. Read it again and again, because the same things, the repeated things are being asked again. The only thing is that we tend to forget that, and we lose the marks. That is the only thing. So if something is not there in the note, that means that many students are not knowing that fact, and that is not a big issue, because only one or two might be knowing that answer and they will be getting first rank or second rank, and that doesn't matter. We need not get first rank or second rank to get our branch of choice in our college of choice. You just need to know what is there in the note and what you have to learn. So learn that and then practice questions which are based on that notes. And if the questions are from some topics which are not in the note, and if the question is not a previous year questions, just don't mind it. Just learn the answer and need not read the explanation also. I don't suggest that reading explanation, but if it is from a previous year question topic, if it is an old previous year question, I suggest that you have to read the explanation, and if you want, you can add them into your notes. But don't make your primary note too much big, because at the end, you will find it very much difficult to revise it. So that's about the preparation. Now, second one is the biggest issue that we have is having the self-doubt, whether I'm doing well, or whether this is the way that I have to prepare, or is this the right way, and everything. So believe me, this is something everyone goes through. Everyone goes through. I had self-doubt. I had doubt whether I'm doing well. Will I be able to finish the topics? Will I be able to get into a good rank which I need? So believe me, we cannot say that whether I will get into or not, which is not under our control. Just worry about the things which are under our control. What we have under our control is that we can work, we can learn, we can revise. Having the memory of that thing is not under our control. We can read, but we may forget which is not under our control. So forgetting a thing should not worry you, because it is not under your control. You can just read it again. That is which is under your control. So do it again. So read again, learn again, but don't worry about the things which are not under your control. And believe in God. I believe truly in God, and pray to Him, and ask your mother, father, your parents, your teachers, and your brother, your siblings, your best friends to pray for you. You pray for them, and that will boost too much of self positivity inside you, and that will help too much in your preparation. I believe that, and that has helped me. My belief and my strength has helped me too much during my preparation. And also, you can give some charity, give some money to poor and all, and you do some good deeds and all. So, and believe that these good deeds will be benefiting you at some point of time. And the next thing is that keep going. Whatever be the thing, whatever it be happening, keep going, and stay on the track. That you have to learn. Whatever be happening, you have to learn. You have to go through. That's it. And as always, everyone will be having good days and bad days. And I should say that I would suggest that you should not say that this day was bad, because if you say that my day was bad, you are losing almost 18 hours or 24 hours of that day. So you have to make your days into parts, like 5 parts. I'm usually made into 5 parts: before noon, afternoon, before evening, after evening, and night. So if my first or forenoon part was bad, I would say that to my mind and to myself that yes, my first session was bad, so that was a bad thing, but I did not learn well. I spent too much time in my phone, but I will improve. Let it be at that side. I will take a bath again. I will have a new plan for the day, and I will take a bath and come again and say, yes, this is a new day. This is a new beginning, and this is a good day. And that is how you change your bad days into good days. never have a bad day. Better to have a bad part of the day, so that you don't lose the complete day yourself. So suppose we have, because even 2 weeks before the exams I used to binge watch YouTube shorts and all, but that happens with everyone. But we have to stop it at some point and come back, because when our mind says that it is a bad day, and then you tend to waste that complete day, so it should not happen. So that's it. Now coming to the most important part, which is revision. And revision is the most important and is the key for success. I should say that revision is the mother of memories, and if you revise you will remember. If you don't revise you won't remember. And I have seen many people, but I strongly believe, behind everyone's best memory is revision. Nobody can remember all these 19 subjects facts by single reading, which is impossible. I believe it is impossible. So you have to revise and revise. That is the only way and the only method that you can remember all this stuff. So when saying about revision, I should say it's not about the quantity of the revision. I always say that it's about the quality of the revision. That when revising, you have to be sure whether if it's something which is based on understanding level, you make sure that you understand the concept and everything, and you learn and go. If it's fact based, it's okay, you read it again and again, it's okay. But some things are concepts based and which have to be understood well. So if you are just reading it again and again without understanding the concept, there is no use, because you will be confusing again when the question comes. So conceptual things have to be understood in that manner, and fact-based things in that manner. Because when in YouTube we can see that you have to do 3 revisions to complete your things. Only minimum of 3 revisions is a must and all. But that is one thing which bothered me too much, because I did only 2 revisions, and which took too much of time. I don't suggest anyone to take that much of time, because for first revision I took 60 days, and my second revision was 15 days. So why second revision became 15 days? Because my first revision was too much of a quality based, and I took time and spent time to understand everything. So that's it. So I would suggest that you have to pay emphasis on the quality of the revision rather than the quantity of the revision. So and also during your first revision you have to have a 20th notebook where you have to write most important and most volatile topics, and revise that 20th notebook again and again at different frequent intervals, so that you remember the most important and the most important areas very much. And also during the revision you have to mark the most important and the most repeated areas of questions, because for example if you know heme metabolism will be, and sure some questions will be coming from that area. In biochemistry vitamins will be asked, and glycogen storage diseases, there will be some questions in that. And if you are asking me in pathology, WBC, lymphoma, there will be some questions. So these are the core areas, these are the core topics. So you have to revise them again and again. Suppose if you are revising biochemistry 2 times or 3 times, suppose, but you will have to revise heme metabolism 10 times, because most important areas can be revised or should be revised many times, because there is a more tendency of being asked again, and there is more tendency that you forget these things again. Because even after the NEET PG or even after every GT, you might be having a feeling that these are the things which I know but I forgot. This is the thing, because out of the 200 questions which came for NEET PG, my mindset was 198 or 195 questions were something which I have read again before, but I forgot. So that is the mindset that everyone will be getting. That will be the mindset that someone who scored 120 will also be getting. So most important areas and most volatile topics have to be revised again and again. So this is about the revision. And the most important part of every entrance exam, of every exam, I believe, is the last 10 days strategy. So you have to have a definite plan of last 10 days. I had the plan for last 12 days basically, because 2 days for the last revision and the final revision of the most volatile things, and 10 days for the revision of the complete subjects. I believe that last 1 month you have to revise the entire notes that you have. whatever the things that you want to remember or you tend to remember, you have to revise in the last 1 month. And the last 10 days should be on the most volatile and the most important topics and most important areas. And that also of all the subjects. And last 2 days is the very, very vulnerable, very, very frequently asked areas of all the 19 subjects that you have to revise. Because even if you revise in the last 10 days, there is a tendency that you forget, but some tables, some important areas, if revised in the last 2 days, which is very easy to be remembered, to be revised, to be recalled in the exams. So then the next one is how to plan the revision in the last 10 days. I would suggest that some subjects like physiology and medicine and etc., so, community medicine, etc., will tend to remember that things much better than other subjects. So you can start give them into the first phase of the last 10 days, and towards the end of the last 10 days give subjects like pharmacology, biochemistry, etc., and put gynecology, OBG in the middle way, because OBG is an important subject because you get almost 25 questions, 25 questions in OBG, and that are purely OBG based questions. Because in medicine we cannot say that 25 questions are purely medicine, because vitamin questions can be regarded as medicine, can be regarded as community medicine, can be regarded as biochemistry. And some questions of medicine will be attributed into microbiology, some into pathology, and likewise pure medicine questions will be like almost like 8 or 10 only, because every subject will be claiming that it is the questions of that subject, etc. So but OBG is different. The questions of OBG are from OBG itself. So you have to read OBG in the 5th day of the last 10 days, I should suggest, so that you have that information in your tips and you can correct the answers or give the answers correctly. So that's how I think you have to plan. And in the last 10 days, the biggest problem that we will be having is the anxiety, the panic attacks. I had all of them. I had all these issues in my preparation. So how to deal with them? That is the biggest problem, because the biggest problem that we have is that we tend to not to read the notes during the 10 days, because we will be panicking and we will be tending like some people tend to not to do anything and just give up, and some people just want to finish these 5 days and get over these things and finish all of things. This all are the things which happens to everyone. I also had gone through all this. So I say that the thing that we have to be careful of at that time, the last 10 days are almost always about mind game. It's not about too much about anything, because if you control your mind at that point of time, you win the match. So control your mind, and if you are feeling too much of low, if you are too much feeling low confidence, do some questions, because doing questions you will be getting more of the answers correct. Suppose if you are saying if you're thinking that you don't know anything or you don't remember anything of biochemistry, you just do 10 questions of biochemistry, you will be getting minimum of 5 or 6 correct answers, which means that you know 50% of biochemistry, which will boost your confidence. So if you are too much of the overconfidence side, or if you are too much of doing only questions and not reading the books, which is also a danger, because suppose you are following any app, suppose pre-PG, you are following pre-PG for a long period of time, there is a high chance that you are getting the questions which are repeated. That happens with any app. So you will be getting the answers correct only because you are practicing in that app for long. But you will be missing many of the things which are there in the note. You will be not knowing many things in the note. So you have to read the notes also. The last 10 days, I should suggest, and I would suggest that you have to read and read. Read again and again, read the notes, stick to the basics, stick to your basics, read your 20th notebook, read your notes again and again. Then you will get a high and better rank, that I assure you. So that's how you have to do in the last period of, or the last phase of the studies. So that is the most important things that I have to say to you. And I think that I used to listen to many of the interviews of toppers. That will help everyone. That is because a topper interview does not always make you toppers, but will always help you to get a good rank, because all the toppers have same things to say. All the toppers have same methodology of learning. One thing, they stick into their same content and subject, and they revise it again and again, and they practiced questions. and they got the rank. That is the thing. There is no too much of a magic thing or magical thing in getting a rank or anything. So we have to remember things, we have to revise things, and that's it. So then the next thing is that there are too much of platforms out there for PG preparation, and I should suggest that you should not go to every one of them, because almost everything has same content. So if you had followed something in past, follow the same thing. And for one subject, I'm not saying that you have to stick completely into one app. If you had a subscription or used one app before and had done some subjects from that, do subjects from that app itself, and and you have a new subscription right now, other subjects you do from these subjects. Because don't watch two same subjects from two apps, because that will be building confusions only. And also don't watch one subject from one faculty and revision from of other faculty. That also will build confusions, and that won't be doing too much of good into your preparation. Because some people have the photographic memory, and some people be having the memory of where it is in the note, at this part of the note that is located, and also which might be better enhanced if you read the same notes and if you are following the same faculty. So that's it. And I should suggest you some of the YouTubers which I used to follow during my preparation. Dr. Aditya Sanjay Gupta of AIMS Delhi, who is doing DM pediatrics right now, DM pediatric oncology right now. And also you can follow Dr. Milind Shinde. I followed his YouTube channel. That was very much useful, because I felt that many things that he used to say were the correct point, were hitting the correct point, and were released at the correct point of time for my preparation, which was very useful for me. So you can also follow them. You can also use their tips to improve your studies and everything. And I would also suggest that you can have one partner for study, like one friend, not too much of friends, one friend to whom you can share your strategies, share your plans, and discuss things. Not too much of discussion, but some discussions will be helpful and will be useful, and they can help us and we can help them also. I also had one of my friend, my best friend, Dr. Taskina, as my study partner, and we used to study same topics at same time and gives exams and all. So she also secured a good rank of 759 in this NEET PG. So having a good friend and having someone to share our strategies and our plans are also a good thing. And the most important thing that I have to say is that you have to minimize the silly mistakes that you are making in your exams. Because in the exam, if you look that suppose you are getting a score of 140, 10 questions or 10 to 12 questions will be just because of silly mistakes that you made during the exam. What is silly mistakes? Silly mistakes is something that you know, but you made mistake just because you overread the question, or just because you did not read all the options. This is the way. So the silly mistakes, if you correct the silly mistakes, you will be getting a good rank or good score. So make sure that you don't make any silly mistakes and you avoid the silly mistakes, because the best way to improve your score and your rank is to avoid the silly mistakes. And then about the GTs, you look into the percentile of your GTs, because it's not about your score, because sometimes some GTs will be tougher will be of tough side, some will be of easier side. So you have to look how your percentile is going. You should not have too much of fluctuations in the percentile of your GTs. And you all have to understand, we all have to understand one thing, that there is only one person who can help you, and that is you yourself. Nobody can come and say or teach you something else. If you want to get a good score, if you want to have a good rank, you have to learn, you have to revise. So believe that you can revise and you can learn, and give yourself and give your 100%. So just remember, or just understand the fact, just think of the fact that so many people are using same app and getting different ranks, because pre-PG, someone used pre-PG and got rank 1, someone used pre-PG and got wrong rank 1 lakh. So what is the difference? That the difference is that they used it differently, they learned it differently. So the platform is same, the materials are same, the questions are same, everything is same. The only thing different is you. So to make a difference, that you have to decide that you will be making a change. And I strongly suggest that everyone who is going for the preparation, avoid your social medias, delete your Instagram accounts, avoid your Facebook accounts and everything. You will be getting distractions from this, because while you are learning, you just see a status of your friend, your random friend who is going out and eating shawarma, shawai and everything. And what will be you feeling? Oh man, this guy is going there having best of his life, having best time of his life, and I'm sitting here in my room and learning all this stuff again and again, and I'm not remembering all these things. What is this? Where I have stuck here? So that is not going to do anything good. So avoid that, avoid WhatsApp status or whatever, avoid all the type of distractions that you're getting, because at the end you have to have a result. At the end you have to have the result, because at the end of your preparation they will be asking what about your rank and what will be your score. So you should not be embarrassed at that point of time. So for that you have to prepare well, be consistent, because consistency is the king. And only by being consistent you will be getting into a good rank or a good score, because motivation is temporary, consistency is the one thing which maintains everything, and you can get into a good rank. So if you want, you can write down some motivational quotes in front of your room, in front of your table and everything, so that you get motivated and you don't get distracted by something at some point of time. And also while learning, I would suggest that every day you have to have a plan for the next day. I usually plan at the night for the next day before sleeping, so that I wake up early, because from bed to table time will be decreased if you have a plan in the day prior itself. Because if you are planning in the morning, then you will have many time till planning, right? So you don't waste that time. So you plan in the day prior, and divide that days into many parts, because don't make a timetable like tomorrow biochemistry. That is not the way that you have to do. So you have to divide into areas. So tomorrow carbohydrates will be read from 8 to 10, then lipids will be 10 to 12, then vitamins from 2 to 4. In that way you can plan. And also take 1 hour of rest at evening. Just have a tea, talk with friends if you have friends with you, or talk with your parents if you're at home. So that will be also good. And I strongly suggest that don't take phone while you're resting, because you read 1 hour and you will be feeling like you have to take rest. Don't take phone, because I used to take phone, I used to take YouTube shorts, and my 5 minutes break turned into 1 hour and 2 hour of breaks, just because of YouTube shorts, because that keeps on coming just like Insta reels. And you will get all this background music and mass feels and everything, and you will get carried away. So avoid that. If you feel that you have to take rest, take a nap, or just take a walk, just talking to your parents or something, that will be the best thing. Then come back, sit, learn. Only one way to get the rank: come back, sit, learn. That is the only way. And many a times we will be getting a good bad score, bad rank and everything, but one rule that you have to have is that don't question your life, because life will be always unjust, and we cannot demand our life to be just. So it will be unjust. So don't question life, question your work, whether you are working well or not. You question that. Just look into how much effort that you are putting, whether you are working or not. That's it. So don't be result focusing, be effort focusing always, that how much effort you are putting into the work. So the one thing is sure, that if you are putting your effort, there will be a result everywhere. Those who have worked hard got result somewhere or other. So if not in this NEET PG, if you have worked very well for NEET PG but you didn't get a good rank, don't worry, because you will be getting a good rank in the INICET or the next exams. That is sure, that is for sure. So there is only one thing that I have to say: be like a pencil, because pencil writes everything, and sometimes the nib of the pencil breaks off, and that's what happens sometimes in our life. We will be having many plans, but sometimes our plans will be broken, or we won't find a good way forward. But the big quality of pencil is that it can be sharpened, so that way when we have a good level of spirit inside us, we can go through these hardships and just reach our goals again. And another quality of pencil is that it can be erased and we can write again. So we will be having many mistakes in our life, so erase the mistakes, because we will be thinking like, I did not learn anything in my UG period, I did not learn anything. That's nothing. You just erase all that feels and all those thoughts, start fresh. And I have many friends of mine who did not learn anything during their UG. They did not prepare anything during their preparation, but got wonderful ranks in NEET PG just by preparing 6 months continuously. So that's enough if you are very much target oriented. And everyone will be having a sense of that I have not done anything and I have not worked up to my par during the preparation, but that's quite normal. Believe in yourself and you will be getting a good rank, and I wish you all the very best. And I believe, and I say one thing, that in the previous day of the exam, if you are feeling that you don't know anything and you have forgotten everything, believe me, you will be in the list, you will be getting a good rank. And that's my experience. And all the best, wish you all the very best. Pray to God, believe in God, believe in good things, and believe that good fortune is waiting for you. All the very best. And I hope that this video helped you, and thank you very much.